What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, here to do the July love reading for my Geminis. If you're new to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click the like, share, and subscribe button for me. All the other information you need to know is in the description box below. So, first of all, for my Geminis, what we're going to take a look at are the current hurdles, obstacles, and struggles that you're having in your current love life right now. We're going to take a look at the advice, what you need to do to overcome those obstacles, and the outcome, what you can expect if you listen to the advice. So essentially, the advice column here in the middle of the reading will be the most important part of the reading, okay? So we're just going to jump right in and see what comes out for you guys. So we're going to take a look and see what the major hurdle, obstacle, or challenge is in regarding to love and romance. All right, so we have the pause card that came out. So we'll see what that's about when we clarify everything here in just a moment. All right, so let's take a look at the advice. All right, so we have the Matrix card here. So the Matrix card in this deck, this is a custom deck that I had made for myself. This is all about institutions, traditions, programming, all the things that basically we come to believe as a result of the programming that we're given, right? Like our formal education, politics, religion, traditions. It's the stuff that it's the system of control, right? It's the veil, the illusion that's been pulled around our eyes that make us believe in things that are not necessarily true, right? And so since this is a love reading, the advice here with the Matrix card, this has something to do with needing to realize the programming and conditioning around love and romance. So in other words, there's a certain set of beliefs. There's expectations. There's something that we believe in or that we've been led to believe in or something that we live by, a set of beliefs, values, expectations, or, the views or perception of the outside world or the beliefs of other people, what other people think of us and all of that kind of thing that impact us, that influence our love and relationships here. There's something to do with that we need to overcome here in the advice. But again, we'll know more once we clarify here. So what's the outcome here for my Geminis? So in the outcome position, we have delays. And at the bottom of the deck, we have destruction. This is like similar to the Tower card and the Death card in Tarot. So let's take a look and clarify the pause energy for the outcome here. Why is the pause energy here? What's going on with this? Okay, that one went on the floor. I'm going to have to grab that one. So we have the Eight of Cups, and we have the High Priestess as the second card. So there's something here that was unfulfilling. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands. So yeah, there's a situation that's either caused a lot of chaos and conflict here, where you've had a lot of mixed feelings about, a lot of mixed emotions. You feel torn. You feel pulled a bunch of different directions. Or maybe you or the person you're with, you felt like there were other options or they had you in competition with somebody. It could be any of these things, right? There's a lot of people that this could apply to. This is a collective reading. But the Eight of Cups is about... The Eight of Cups really has to do with two things. For most people, the Eight of Cups will apply to situations that are not fulfilling for you. So situations where you believed at one point, you thought, well, maybe this thing is the thing that I desire. And it turned out to not be the case. It turned out to be unfulfilling. It turned out to be, it just didn't live up to your expectations. It didn't live up to what you thought it was going to be here. And so now you're moving on and you're still searching. You're still searching for that thing that it's like the U2 song. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, right? That's essentially the energy here. Now, for the second group of people, the Eight of Cups has to do with somebody who feels, it's somebody who's going on a spiritual journey, right? And with the High Priestess card here next to it, that makes a lot of sense because the High Priestess card is one of the most spiritual cards in tarot. And so this is like, you feel inclined, you feel pulled, your intuition is telling you, hey, we need to go, there's something that's pulling on you. There's something tugging on you that's pulling you in your direction. And it's a spiritual journey. All right. It's all about listening to your intuition. It's all about going within. It's all about learning a spiritual lesson here. And so the pause card here is basically essentially saying, because this is all having to do with the hurdle, obstacle, and challenge with your love, is that your love life here is that a lot of you may have taken a pause when it comes to love and relationships because you feel like, man, love and relationships, the dating world sucks right now. I've not been happy. I keep having the same experiences. I keep meeting the same types of people. I keep getting the same types of result, and they're unfulfilling. I keep getting unfulfilling results, and no matter what I do, no matter who I talk to, what dating apps I get on, or who I meet, or whatever the situation is, right? You keep having the same types of experiences here, and it leaves you feeling very conflicted here with the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And the High Priestess here is the kind of like the spiritual moderator, the spiritual referee, if you will, who's been trying to get your attention to tell you like, hey, there's a spiritual lesson here. There's a hidden truth. There's a deeper spiritual hidden truth here because the High Priestess has the scroll in her hand, which is the Torah, which is the law. And that scroll, the law, is really essentially, it's like a metaphor, an archetype of the truth, of what's real, basically. It's the hidden knowledge. It's the missing information, that it's the spiritual enlightenment, the spiritual truth, that the whatever the knowledge or information is that we're missing or lacking within ourselves that lead us to the things that we desire. So it's almost like a treasure map, right? Knowledge is power, or I should say an applied knowledge is power, right? If you have the treasure map, if you have the GPS, if you have the coordinates, if God source, the universe, if an angel or whatever, if even another human being just walked up to you one day and said, hey, here, I've got this envelope for you, this message, right? These steps for you. Excuse me. Pardon me. And you open that envelope and you pull out that piece of paper and you look down the list and you realize, like, it tells you exactly what to do step by step. To meet the love of your life, to meet the man or the woman of your dreams, just do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this order. This is what you got to do. This is where you have to go. This is what you need to change about yourself. This is what you need to focus on. If you had all the steps, you would know. Just follow the steps. And as long as I follow the steps, I'll find the person. I'll show up at the place at the right time. I'll know what to say. I'll know what to do. I'll know what the person looks like. Like if it was all mapped out for us, we couldn't lose. Well, the High Priestess has that knowledge. The High Priestess wants to give us that scroll, but it's not literal in the sense that we're going to get a literal, tangible set of instructions, right? We're not going to be handed a tangible piece of paper that says, be here at this time, talk to this person. They're going to look exactly like this. They're going to be standing here wearing this. And if you walk over and you say this and you say that, you're going to find out that they're the love of your life. And then you're going to get married and blah, blah, blah. That's not how it works, right? but essentially it's saying here that that those answers, that GPS, that spiritual GPS that will guide us to that person is within all of us, right? But we have to be willing to trust ourselves and listen to ourselves, which a lot of people have difficulty doing. Most people don't trust themselves. Most people don't trust their own intuition. Most people don't listen to their intuition. Why? Because they're plugged into the matrix. They've been taught and they've been told, no, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to think. This is how you're supposed to act. This is what you're supposed to believe. This is what you're supposed to do. All of that stuff that the outside world, politics, religion, your family, all the stuff that you've been told to do, the mass majority, society, all the global bullshit has told you what to do. That's the programming. You have not been encouraged. Most people are not encouraged to think for themselves, to come to their own conclusions, to figure out who they are, what they believe, and to honor themselves. Most people aren't conditioned to do that. We're conditioned to be followers, right? That's how society is. And unfortunately, that's why society is where it's at. Because we give our power away to external things that we think, external sources, institutes, religion, beliefs, all these things. We give our power away to these external things that we think know more than we do, are bigger, better, stronger, more capable, more competent, and all these things, right? Because we have what's called learned helplessness. We've been taught to be followers, which is essentially a form of enslavement. Even though it's not literal enslavement, it's mental enslavement. It's an identity enslavement. Spiritual enslavement, right? So why is the matrix here for the advice? Yeah, the Hanged Man card, Pisces energy. So we have double Pisces energy here. So some of you could have been dealing with a Pisces. It doesn't have to be. Just going to have to mention it though. So what this is saying is that, yeah, with the Hanged Man here, you guys have to have a new perception. The only reason that the Hanged Man is stuck and trapped and in prison, and the only reason that he's all tied up is because he doesn't understand that there's a way to get free, right? It's an allegory. It's a metaphor. The Hanged Man isn't really tied up at all. He believes, or she believes, they're tied up because they've been taught to believe that they're tied up. They've been trained. It's, again, everything I said about learned helplessness. They believe what they've been told, what they've been taught. The Hanged Man is here. You have to get a new perception. Your perception about love and relationships and all that you've experienced up to this point needs to be investigated. You need to get curious about your own beliefs, about why you have the negative or pessimistic or limiting beliefs that you have about love and relationships, which is why the Page of Swords is here. So this whole advice column here, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is all about creating, mastering, evolving, growing, and working on something to become, to build your way, or to put effort, time, energy, and effort into something to create or to master something, right? So what this essentially is saying is, in order for you to get out of this paradigm, this limiting belief, this prison, this disempowering way of living your life that's been robbing you of opportunities to experience love, to find your partner, to find love, whatever the challenge romantically has been, you have to gain a new perception, a new perspective on life. You have to get curious about the things in your life and become your own detective and explore and look at things from a million different perceptions than you've been looking at it. Most people, they come to a conclusion about situations and circumstances that have happened in their life, and they cling to maybe one or two conclusions they've come to. It's either going to be this or it's got to be that. It's usually very dualistic, very black and white. It's either this or it's that. There can't be any other explanations to it. There can't be any other meanings to it. And then they fixate, they become attached to that meaning, that story, that belief, that narrative, and then that's it. And now that's all they take away from it. And that's why most people stay stuck. And so what what the advice is saying is no. There's another perspective, there's another perception that you haven't considered that's actually more empowering, that would give you the tools and the resources to actually work towards something that would release you from this hanged man position, which would give you your power, and then therefore you having your power would therefore give you your freedom back. And when you're in your freedom, you're back in your power. And when you're back in your power, you can create the outcomes that you desire, right? And so beneath that, look, we have the Empress. So this is either representative of the type of person that you desire, or this is you stepping into your power as, as the Empress. The Empress gives birth to things that she creates. The Empress represents the most, desirability, fruition, pregnancy, creation, giving birth to new things, right? Luxury, love. She's the archetype of love. She's ruled by Venus. She's the queen of all queens. She's all four queens put together. And she is the master of feminine energy, which is love, intimacy, nurturing, compassion, care, empathy, all of those things. Okay. So delays is in the outcome here. So we start with pause and we enter delays. Why is delays here for the outcome? And what I'm getting from this is to overcome the delays that you've been experiencing in love. In other words, why you haven't been finding love no matter what you've done. That's a delay. To overcome those delays, you have to do everything that we just said in the in the advice position here, right? So why is the delays card here for the outcome, please? Okay, wow, it gave us 3. It's fine. I'll take it. Well, actually give us more than that. That's actually way too many, but it's okay. I'll just do a speed read on these. So we got the 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles is saying it's in your hands. It's up to you. You have to make a decision here. It's in your hands. You can either choose to get curious, find a new perspective, or you can hold on to the same perspective that you've always had. The Hermit, Virgo. You could be dealing with a Virgo. You don't have to be. I'm just mentioning it. We also had Pisces here. The Hermit is all about introspection. You need to go within and find the answers, which goes right back here to the High Priestess. High Priestess and the Hermit card are very similar. The High Priestess is the one who holds the knowledge. The Hermit is the person who gets the knowledge from the High Priestess, because the Hermit is about introspection. It's going within. So the Hermit is the path. He's kind of like the the hostess, right? Or the person that you meet, the front desk, the hostess. Like you go to a restaurant, right? And the hostess, you walk into a restaurant, she's at the first little podium there. The hostess says, how many people, right? And you're like, well, it's me, it's 2 people, right? Like, because she wants to know, like, how many people, how big of a table do we need? So you go into a restaurant and you say 2 people, and the hostess, depending on the restaurant, she might grab the silverware. So she picks up 2 sets of silverware, and she grabs 2 menus, or he, if he is a hostess, whoever, male or female. And so she's got he or she's got 2 menus and 2 sets of silverware. And she says, follow me. And what does the hostess do? She leads you to where your table is and says, here, there you are. And so you sit down at the table. She gives you the menu. She gives you the silverwares. And she says, your waiter or waitress's name is such and such, and they will be serving you. Right? And so then she leaves. That's who the Hermit is. The Hermit is the host or the hostess. The Hermit is the one who says, hey, your waiter or waitress will be the High Priestess. The Hermit is the one who introduces you to the High Priestess. It's introspection. The Hermit guides you within yourself to meet the High Priestess, so that you can obtain the scroll. And the scroll that the High Priestess holds is what we're after. Because whatever's written on that scroll are the answers. It's the treasure map. It's the thing that we desire. It's whatever it is we're after is written on that scroll. That has the answers to our problem. But we have to go within to get that scroll. Okay? So, quick review. Two of Pentacles, it's up to you to decide what you want to do here. If you want to overcome the delays that you've been experiencing in love, you need to do everything we said back here in the advice column. But to do that, you got to go within, Hermit energy, to consult with the High Priestess, to gain a new perspective, Hangman energy, so that you can get out of this Four of Cups. The Four of Cups represents the stagnation, the apathy, the things that, disinterest. Like all these cups of love that I've gone through, they haven't been fulfilling. That's the Eight of Cups. Remember, we talked about that. The Eight of Cups is all about the things in life that disappoint us. I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I'm still looking. Can't find fulfillment. The Four of Cups is just another way of saying the Eight of Cups. But there's hope in the Four of Cups. And just like there's hope in the Eight of Cups. And 4 and 8 are divisible by each other, right? The Eight of Cups is like, hey, if I search long enough, eventually I'll get to the Nine of Cups. Well, the Four of Cups is saying the same thing. It's like, hey, I've explored these 3 empty cups that were dissatisfying, but look, the 4th cup comes out of the cloud. It's a blessing. There's always more. There's always that thing that when we think that we've lost hope, there's no hope. I can't find the thing. This is always how it's going to be. It's always going to suck. Dating, relationships, it's always the same thing. It's toxic. It's lame. It's a shit show. Whatever our belief is, right? It's like, no. There's always going to be, as long as you get that new perspective, there's always a cup out there that's meant for us. And then technically this Knight of Pentacles came out in reverse. It was laying on the table here in reverse. I'm going to leave it up right here. So what this was saying in the reverse is basically saying that you have to be willing to put in the work, which is what we saw with the Eight of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck over here. It's saying some of you have gotten have bought into the belief that it's not worth, love and relationships aren't worth your time and effort, or it's not worth taking seriously at this point in time. You've had so many disappointing experiences, Eight of Cups energy. You've had so many disappointing experiences, Four of Cups energy, that you're like, it's not worth putting forth any effort, because every time I put forth effort, every time that I do ABC, XYZ, I've, the other person screws me over, or they ghost me, or they only want this, or they're not on the same page with me, blah, 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 all the different things. And you can only do that so many times before you start to believe, well, I guess that's just how it is nowadays. No one wants to put any effort in. Nobody wants to meet me and be an equal. Nobody wants the same things I do. Nobody wants to take a serious relationship, all these things. But look, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is the goal. It's the outcome. It's the commitment. It's the long-term relationship. It's the love, whatever it is. The Four of Wands is the celebration. The Four of Wands is the relationship, the marriage, the commitment. It's the thing that we all desire here in the outcome. I'm putting it right here because this section of the video is blocked. As you can see, this box here, this box here, you can see down here is got my face in it. So I can't put it there because it'll hide it like that. So I'm going to see it right here. But this Four of Wands in the outcome is what this is saying, is that you can have what you want. The relationship you desire, the marriage, the long-term commitment, whatever you're after, that person who will love you and cherish you, who is your wish come true, who is your wish fulfillment, who is your Nine of Cups, because the 8 is searching for the 9. That person is out there, okay? But you have to let go of the limiting beliefs that you have about love, and you need to adopt new empowering beliefs, regardless of your past, regardless of all the reasons that you have, regardless of your of all the stories and all the evidence and your argument that you have, and say, well, but hold on, Eddie, here's all my evidence. This is why I believe what I believe. And I'm not saying that you haven't had those experiences. I'm not saying that there's not a good reason for you to have these beliefs right now. We all have experienced things that create the beliefs that we currently hold. But those beliefs are based on the past. And it doesn't matter if you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a million of those experiences. That doesn't mean that the next experience you have is going to be exactly the same as the past. Right? But that's not what we believe. We think, oh, well, if I've experienced this 5, 10 times, 20 times, or however many times you experience, that must mean that I'm doomed to experience this for the rest of my life. For the rest of existence, I'm going to keep having the same results. The only way that we're doomed to fail, or the only way that we're doomed to have the same experience over and over again, is by staying the same person, by not growing, not evolving, not learning, and not transcending those past versions of ourselves. Because those past experiences were there to teach us who we need to become in order to have the outcomes we desire. But we misunderstand that, right? Which is why, again, the advice section of the reading is the most important part of the reading. Okay. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this is beneficial for you guys. This reading is good for about the next 30 days or so. And if you liked this content, I hope that you will subscribe, and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free for you. And I will see you guys shortly. And as always, my friends, love and light.